no brag. Charlotte's family are working alongside Lisa's family to bring about Charlotte's Law. So I'm going to talk about Charlotte's case briefly with you before I explain what Charlotte's Law is going to entail. Now, if you live in the UK, you probably know about Helen's Law, which we'll go into in a minute, which is basically the same version of what they're trying to impact over there. So this article is with, this is with the BBC actually, but it's BBC Northern Ireland, and it's with the sister, Sinead Corrigan, who is the sister of Charlotte Murray. Now, she says, every morning you wake up wondering, will today be the day that we find her body? Now, her sister Charlotte Murray went missing in 2012, and her body has never been found. In 2019, her former partner, Johnny Miller, was convicted of her murder. So someone has got, this is him here, he has gone to prison for this, but he still has not given up where Charlotte is. In a rare interview, Charlotte's sister, Sinead, has been speaking to BBC News Northern Ireland, and it comes as her family continue to campaign for a change in the law. Thank you. Well, thanks, Kirsty. Thank you, Maria. In murder cases where killers conceal the location of their victims' bodies. The legislation that's dubbed Charlotte's Law has already been out for public consultation, and are plans to introduce it into Northern Ireland. Thank you, G. Thank you so much. The proposed law outlines a series of measures that is hoped could encourage killers to volunteer information as to where victims' remains are. So what they're trying to do, which is slightly different over in Northern Ireland, they're trying to offer killers a percentage off of their sentence if they give up the remains of their victim. Now, where I can see a slight problem with this, which is a little bit for me as I'm kind of looking into this, is if you murder someone in Northern Ireland, would it not be worth you hiding the remains? Because then when you're in the prison system, you can go, actually, I'll give you back the remains now. So is it not going to allow for more cat and mouse kind of games with killers? Do you guys see what I'm saying? Because I would worry that it should be like a little bit like our one over here, Helen's Law, which is where you should stay in prison until you give up the remains. So to me, if I think to myself, well, actually, I'm going to get, say, a tenth off my sentence, I'm then going to make sure you can't find their body until it works for my favour. I think a lot of people will, Katie. So Charlotte Murray was originally from Omagh, I think it is, in County Tyrone, but the final years of her life, she'd been living in the village of Moy with her partner at the time, Johnny Miller. He is currently serving a life sentence for a murder with a 16-year tariff, and that started in 2020. Her sister said Charlotte was a strong woman. I would say she was definitely a free-spirited kind of person. She was really kind. We're a big family. Charlotte was one of 11 children, and it's had a huge impact on every single one of us. It's taken our toll on everyone. Thank you, Gillian. We just want to be able to bring her home. We don't even have a grave to visit. Charlotte was last seen alive in October of 2012, and her family have been trying to find her ever since. Now, because they've not been able to find her, they don't know exactly what happened to her. They just know that Johnny is responsible. They don't know how she met her end. They don't know if she's in one piece. They don't know where she could be, but it's stopped them from being able to go on with their life. I know, Alexander, it's absolutely horrible. Charlotte's family hope new legislation could help lead to the location of Charlotte's body and are building in proposals that could be applied retrospectively to cases that have already been through the courts. She said, so they've got Justice Minister Naomi Long is involved in it, and she said, we know that having a body to bury can really impact the mental health of a family on their ability to grieve properly. It's something we discussed at length with bereaved families, because things like reductions on tariffs for those convicted of such heinous crimes is always an extremely sensitive issue. The Justice Minister added, with Charlotte's Law, we want to bring forward incentives at each stage from arrest to sentencing, and with that there will be a sliding scale in terms of the impact it will have on the tariffs. I just think that's a really dangerous way to do it. I think it's a really dangerous way, but that's just me thinking, like, as someone who covers crime. Charlotte Murray's family have also worked closely on the campaign with relatives of Lisa Dorian, who disappeared in 2005. Sinead Corrigan said it's a hope that other families will not have to endure what their family or the Dorians have had to endure. So I just want to go to a more recent article about the law, because they have got a recent one out here with... No, it's not that recent, actually. It's just talking about how Dorians have joined the campaign for the law. It's just... I completely understand where the families are coming from, and the families are obviously in a place of such desperation to bring back their loved ones that they probably are willing to, like Lisa's family have said, like, even at this point, if no one goes to prison, you know, we would have to be okay with that, but we can never be okay with Lisa not coming home. So I get that. And I think if the families are the ones putting together the bill, who am I to argue with it? However, I do worry slightly that it will lead to people withholding more remains.